Welcome to Camelback Conversations. My name is Cole. I'm our discipleship pastor here. And today we have Hailey P, and super excited to have you on. You are one of our folks that we support overseas. And so
Yes.
on the chance to get you home and actually have you here and not do things just virtually or something like that, I thought it'd be awesome. We could sit down and let everybody get to know you and hear a little bit more about what you got going on. So thank you for coming on. So let's start with your story. So something that we do is we track people's Camelback conversation, right? How did they get here? And so kind of walk us briefly, like your testimony, how you got to know the Lord, things like that. And then how did you get involved with Camelback? How did that all happen?
All right. So I grew up in Seattle, Washington. My parents found the Lord when I was really young, so I've always gone to church for as long as I can remember. Started getting more and more involved in our home church in middle school, high school, and ended up working for our church in the childcare area, and then moved to Arizona for college. I went to GCU, and that's ultimately how...
Studied
elementary
Okay,
education.
perfect. It's a little important to the story.
Oh, yes, absolutely it is. Good context. So while I was at GCU, I overheard some friends talking about how they were going to Camelback, and they mentioned a couple that actually the wife went to youth group with me in Seattle, and so I was like, oh, I know these people, and so got invited to Camelback, and then we actually knew another couple, the Riches, who my dad knew him really well as I was growing up, and so it was really wild coming to Camelback and just immediately feeling connected to the community because I already knew those
seeing people that you knew and kind of able to slide in with them and then slide in to the greater.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So got connected to Camelback, started going to college group. And then where did we go next? What's next on the story?
So while I was in college, I was substitute teaching. And so while I was in college group, I really went through a lot of different seasons of life pretty quickly. And so I had just such a supportive system as I was like learning how to teach for the first time. And then they encouraged me after college when I started teaching in the Phoenix area and became a teacher for the first time. And after my first year of teaching, I really wanted to go teach overseas, and it just was really laid on my heart. And so I told that college group community, I think I want to move to Spain. And it was something I had really never considered before then.
Yeah. So from there, you've been 1 year in Spain. Is that correct?
2 years
2 years
now.
in Spain.
Yep.
Cool. Kind of walk us through that. So how did you get tied in with the group you're with in Spain? Like, what does that look like? What's kind of the focus, things of that sort? What does that work look like?
Yeah. So originally, my first year there, I was teaching in the public schools. I was a language assistant. So I was just working with students from 3 years old up into 6th grade and just helping them practice their English. And it was through my time there as a language assistant, I ended up getting connected to Marie Blanchard, and I had met her right before moving to Spain, and she had just said, well, I'll help you find a church community, let me know when you're settled there, and it'll be good to have a familiar face. And so then I had met up with her, attended her church, and that's when some different people at her church had said, oh, well, if you're a teacher, you should really check out this school, Evangelical Christian Academy.
Yeah. And what's kind of the mission of Evangelical, the Academy? What's kind of their aim and goal?
Yeah. So we serve missionary kids. And so a lot of these families, they're doing different missions work. It might be other supportive roles, or, they might be involved in a local church, but a lot of the time, families have to leave the mission field because their children need a good education system. And so we're providing biblically based education, and it's also in English, and so families who their children don't fit into the Spanish system as well, or it's not working out for them, it's another option.
Yeah, and why does a school like this exist? Like, so besides serving missionaries and whatnot, I know that there's we live in Phoenix where school choice is a thing, right? Like we're a homeschool family. Everybody is willy-nilly free to choose whatever schooling they want. If they want to go to school with the lizard people, they can go to school with the lizard people. Like, people can. So why is it so important to have a school like this in Spain for especially those homes, or for those missionary families?
Yeah. So in Spain, you're not able to homeschool your kids. Your options are either the public Spanish schools or private schools. And so we are one of a few schools in Spain that have a Christian community that surrounds them.
Yeah, and that's something that here in Phoenix, it's a little easier to understand because I've never fully decided if Phoenix is pre or post Christian, right? Or if we just skip that completely. So it's a little easier, I think, for a Phoenix person to understand. Yeah, like being in the cultural minority and not being able to get those resources. But we have so many Christian schools here that that's not a problem. Like, you can sign up to a Catholic school, a Christian school, whatever. We got options. But yeah, in Europe, it's a different look. It's incredibly post-Christian.
Yes. Yeah.
And so it's good that you guys are there helping helping families stay in the field. I think that's something that we don't think about, is how do we stay? So you've been, you just got back not too long ago. Came back to the States. You've been running around meeting with people. What was that year like? What's kind of, bring us into life in Spain? What's kind of the rhythms? What do you do? Things like that. Kind of help us get a view into your world.
So our school is in a very small town outside of Madrid. It's been really interesting for me because I didn't really know Spanish coming in. And so I went from teaching Spanish speakers who, didn't understand a lot of English, and then I'm coming in and
Flipping it.
Yes, it was reversed. And so I think it helped me grow in compassion and really understand what it's like to be a language learner. And so I think that's helped me to become more patient. It was also a very interesting transition for me because it was the first time in my life where it was not normal to have a faith. Almost no one practices any religion, especially Christianity. If they do have a faith, they might attend like Catholic Mass on Easter.
Or be Muslim or something completely different.
Yeah, so it was very interesting to share that I was going to church and meet these friends who simply did not understand why I would spend my Sunday doing what they saw as like a chore that their grandmother would ask them to do. And so I think that really helped me to understand how important it was to have this school for these children to be surrounded by people who are like-minded and where they're able to have role models who are really living out their faith.
Yeah. So I always like asking people, especially if they grew up in the States and then they moved overseas, what was the biggest culture shock for you? What was the biggest thing that, you got ready to go? And even after you've been there a year, that's just enough time to start feeling culture shock, right?
Yeah.
So this second year, what was something you learned? What was something new that you went, oh, wow, I realized just how American I am. And I need to be all things to all people. I need to learn this thing. But besides language, what was something new that you went, oh, wow?
I have two thoughts for this. First, my first culture shock was eating out. And it is a very long process to go eat out in Spain. There's a concept sobremesa where you go, you eat, and once the meal is finished, you sit and you talk with the people at the table. And this can go on for hours. And at first, I did not understand why meals took so long, and the waiters are not very attentive. They don't come to you. You have to flag them down. And that was really hard for me when I first moved. I did not like eating out. And it is interesting because now coming back to the States, that is what I miss the most, is being able to have long meals with people and talk for a long time. So that was my first culture shock. I think this last year, I've started volunteering at this coffee shop, Bria, and we have conversation groups with local Spaniards. They're able to practice their English, and then we try and encourage some spiritual conversation, which has been really good, but it's really given me a deeper understanding of Spanish culture. And even those who would consider themselves religious, there's a lot of superstition in so many of their practices, which I did not realize until I started being a part of this group. So.
Yeah, now you're kind of getting a more upfront view of like, oh, what does a Spanish Christian have to deal with? Like, where on the American side we have our own things that we have to deal with. You know, there's what flavor of Christian are they supposed to be, or something like that. You're getting more of an animistic version of religious background, which would be, I could see where that would be really surprising. Like, you think it's gonna be one thing, and then poof, you're in this whole new world. So you're going back. When do you head out? Has that been decided yet? Are we?
Yes, so I will head out August 12th.
Cool. So August 12th, so right around the corner from the time that we're recording. We're about a month out. What are some things you're excited for this go round? What are some things that, and they can be things you're excited for / things that you would like people to be praying for on this end? What are some things you're anticipating, looking forward to, and looking ahead at?
Yeah. So last year I taught 3rd and 4th grade combined. So I had all my 3rd graders in the morning, and then 4th graders would join my class in the afternoon because our 4th grade teacher is just part-time. And now I will be moving up into 5th grade, so I'll have those 4th graders again, which this is my first time returning to a school, and it will also be my first time repeating with the same group of students. So I'm really looking forward to that because I kind of know what to expect. It will be interesting, to see how they've grown and developed over the summer. But I'm really looking forward continuing with that particular class. It also has left me this summer with just a lot of things to consider. One thing in particular is we read stories during lunchtime, and so I try to really be intentional with how will this help them grow with social emotional learning, and maybe teach them more historical background. And so I've really been trying to be intentional with what books to select. I've been looking through that throughout the summer, and then it's also good because I know these students and what they're emotionally ready for.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Awesome. Well, we are super excited for you to be able to go back. We're glad that we got to have you a little bit this summer, but glad that you're going to be able to go back on the field. And so we will be praying for you throughout the year. If they want to get in touch with you, we'll encourage them. They can, if they don't have your contact info, they can reach out to the church office and we can put them in touch with you. But we will be praying for you across this coming year. And hopefully we can get something set up to where we could do like a Zoom call and kind of touch base mid-year. And I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah.
So awesome. Well, Hailey, thank you so much. And we'll be praying for you.
Thank you very much.